Hi everyone, it's me. Now today I'm going to show you my kind of everyday light natural foundation routine. It's really easy, really simple. You can shorten it if you wanted to, if you want to make it less. You could put on less product if you want to make it lighter, you know, just like mix and match. And yeah, so let's get into this foundation tutorial and I will talk to you guys after the video. Bye. Okay, so the first thing you have to do is make sure your skin is clean and moisturized, especially because it's winter, it's really dry out, and like if you have eczema like I do, you get little dry patches, and that's not good. Okay. Okay, and after that, the next thing you have to do is prime. And so for primer, I use Olay Fresh Effects Clear Skin Swirled Mattifier. It's like redness and pore reducing. Pretty cool. And so I just take that on like a stippling brush, like this, and just squirt a couple pumps. And then apply that all over the face. We can move on to the foundation. So I like to use my Cover FX Oil Natural Finish Oil-Free Foundation in G50. I just like to squirt some out onto my finger. Just, you know, a healthy amount. And then dot that all over the face. And it's a little dark for me, but you know, it's winter. I want to look a little tan. And get some on the neck too. Can't forget about the neck. Okay, so now that you have that like kind of dotted and like somewhat covering your whole entire face, we are going to take this Ulta buffing brush and then just buff it all out. We can just wipe the excess from our fingers onto the brush as well. And then just in little circles, just buff that into the skin. Just to really get a nice natural like skin look. You don't want it to look too cakey. And that's really why I like using this brush, because it really just like gets it into the skin and makes it look like your actual skin. The only problem that I have with this foundation is if you have really bad dry patches, sometimes it does pick up on it, which can kind of be a problem. So now that we have our foundation set, or our foundation on, we are going to set it just with some translucent powder, just so it doesn't move before we put the concealer on, and just like a light dusting, not like bake your foundation or anything. And I like to use translucent powder as opposed to like powder foundation, because I feel like powder foundation just makes it too heavy for me to wear every day, you know? And plus sometimes if you use a powder foundation, it can alter the color of your foundation, your liquid or cream underneath, and that is not ideal, because you want that to stay as true to color as it can. Okay, so right now I have a little dry patch right here. So what I'm going to do to fix that is just dab a little bit of extra moisturizer on there. And I also have like some just dry skin around the corners of my mouth, because that's where my mouth tends to get really dry. And then I'm just gonna Get some moisturizer in there as well. I like to go easy around the mouth with foundation. I don't like to cake it on because then you really can see the dry patches that are happening there. Next, we're going to move on to my concealer, just to, little highlight the face and just perfect any imperfections there are and hide these dark circles. So I'm almost out. So I take Benefit Fakeup in color 02, and then just down my nose, and then a little in the center of the forehead, the eye, under the eye, a triangle. Same thing with the other eye. Cupid's bow and chin. Just, bring up the center of my face. And then take a damp beauty blender or makeup sponge, whatever you have, and then just blend that in. Need to bake it, otherwise it'll crease, it'll get super oily, and it'll come off within like 4 hours. Just on the wide side of this, I'm just gonna dab where I set all the concealer, my little goatee. And also, coincidentally, all the areas that I want to conceal happen to be my really extremely oily areas as well. Oh wait, my whole face is oily. And really it's all about reducing shine, especially because even though it's been raining recently here, it's been extremely humid, which means a lot of sweating. And then can't forget under eyes. I don't like to go extremely heavy right under the eye, but definitely on the cheekbone, right there. And as you can see, it's taking away all the shine. Okay, next, because it's winter, and I get extremely pasty. I know a bunch of people do. So we are going to make sure we don't look as pasty. So let's bronze, and then so I just like to use a little angled contour brush and my SEPHORA bronzer. I use the darkest shade just because I don't like to build. I just want to have the darkness right there. And then I just like to lightly dust the bronzer on in big circular motions in the areas where I would contour. So this is going to replace contouring just because, I don't feel the need for heavy contouring. So it'll really just warm up the skin. And you just want it to look very natural, like, she got a tan in the winter, but no tanning beds, because that's how you get skin cancer. And then I kind of just went too dark along the hairline, but you know what happens if you go too dark? Just blend it, just blend it out. You're probably like, Rachel, this would be so much easier if you put your hair up. Yeah, I know, I forgot. And it was too late, and I had already started. And then just dust some around like the sides of your nose. Not like to contour, but just like to bring some into the center of your face too. And then obviously the jaw, just bronze, bronze, bronze. You just want to look like you tanned, or you're naturally glowy, naturally bronzy, glowy, beautiful. But don't worry, we're going to get to the glow in a little bit. And then you're going to see what the big deal is. Okay, that looks nice and natural. Okay, but then just keep blending. Okay, so once you're blended out, now you can remove the bake. I don't like to leave it on too long, especially because it's supposed to be like a more natural looking foundation routine, so you really don't want to get too much powder in there. So I'm just taking this brush that I use to apply the translucent powder over my foundation and just dusting it off, just because this is more dense. And it really gets rid of all the all the extra powder. As you can see, the bake on my forehead disappeared. I didn't have that much to begin with, but it's gone already. Okay, and as you can see, my chest is pretty white, but I'm wearing a pseudo turtleneck, so you can't even tell. Life hacks. Okay, so now that your foundation is almost done, the next thing we are going to do is just highlight my favorite part. Okay, so I like to use the Benefit Sunbeam to start off the highlight and just brush that along the high point of my cheekbones right here. Just make like a little C kind of, except not really. And then just match that on the other side. That one's more C-like, but you won't be able to tell once we blend it. It's hard to get really precise with this brush, but it's not really about precision. It's more about just like in the general area. And just a little bit on the nose. Over the eyebrows. And then Cupid's bow. Okay, so now take that same beauty blender. I like to use this side right here and just blend away, just so you get a more soft and natural looking glow. And then blend, 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 blend. And now, if you want a more blinding glow, which of course I do, we're going to take this fluffy shadow blending brush, but I think it's too big for shadow blending. And I like to use Urban Decay Midnight Cowboy single eyeshadow. And then, see, look at that. Do y'all see that? Hold on. That pigment, that's crazy. That's ridiculous. So I just like to dip my brush in there. And then just go in on the very top, the highlight. Like, do you see that? I'm also using all natural light, so it really picks up the highlight really well. Then on the other side. And then I just like to hit the tip of the nose, not the whole bridge. Cupid's bow. And then just like a dot above the eyebrows. Just a dot. And then just like smooth it out, not taking a brush, but taking that damp beauty blender and just blending that. And just kind of marrying that to the Sunbeam so that they just go together. So now we are done with our foundation, face, whatever. And so the last step, which I usually do before just because, you know, I really want this to be set before I start going in on the eyebrows and the eyes, is I take the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray and then just like go to town on my face, just so, you know, make sure that just to make sure that, you know, everything gets really set in there and stays all day. Okay, so now that I finished this look, and I also filmed my brow tutorial, so that'll be going up soon. This is our finished foundation look with that glow. And yeah, it's just really something that I would do every day if I had the time, if I didn't have so many dry patches for the foundation to sit into. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. All the products that I used will be in the description box below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something. And I will see you guys in my brow tutorial.